And now we're going to talk about Hot Chip because they released
A Bath Full of Ecstasy, which is 12...
not literally.
Not literally.
It's the name of the album.
It's the name of the album.
Don't get excited.
GHB out here. 12 songs, 58 minutes long, but again, it's like 2 discs where it has... Disc 2 is edits of 3 songs. So there's technically 9 songs, make it 45 minutes long.
Yeah,
so.
and let me beef with Spotify's interface here because you can't even tell that it's 2 discs on a lot of the versions of Spotify's interface on mobile and on like web.
Mine it does.
But on like if you have it on desktop, then you'll be able to see
exactly.
it. So that's weird, but whatever. Yeah, the edits are obviously condensed versions for the radio because that's a thing. That have to be under like 3.5 minutes. Usually Hot Chip songs because a lot of their earlier stuff was like definitely poppy, but rooted in electronic and techno.
Yeah, like indie stuff too. They're very expansive. Hot Chip are interesting because they have a very wide range of music. But all I know is they made my favorite album so far of 2019. That's all I can say.
Wow. Okay, that's a
so far.
moment.
So far. I just want to hear you talk, and then I'm gonna go ins.
I'm trying to think of a song that people would know before from Hot Chip.
I'd definitely say Hot Chip?
Boy from School.
I would say Boy for School, maybe. There's a lot of shit they made. A lot of it's going to be from the 2006 album. Yeah. I can't think of the title. The Warning, because that album was very good, and that'll be on like different playlists and stuff because it pops up on a wide like plethora of music. If you listen to music, which I hope you do.
Yes.
Because then your life is meaningful.
So. You said that this might be the best album of the year that you've heard so far for you. This album definitely tested a lot of my patience. This is going to be very interesting to talk about. Definitely, like, through Melody of Love and Spell and Bath Full of Ecstasy, you kind of, like, the first 3 songs, you will start to understand very clearly that this is an album that's about love, but I think also in a way that it's a Bath Full of Ecstasy. It's like the rush of those feelings kind of coming at you, and that's comes out in these songs, what's said lyrically and in the instrumentation of it. But because of that, it can do this thing that's like sonically overwhelming when it's doing bliss points that I've always just sort of not liked, that you can either go either way on, but it's something that you like a lot in music, so like it can go either way for people, I think. I started to turn back on the album because at that point I felt like Hot Chip had just done a Foster the People thing and had just gone too poppy, where I tried to over pop their sound. But once I got to Echo, they started to win me back a little bit. I felt like that was just a really solidly produced song that goes back to kind of like Hot Chip's bread and butter and what they sounded like. And then when you get into Hungry Child, I think that's probably my favorite song on the album still. It holds up on its own. I think that's the peak for me. And then the rest, they're like standard-ish Hot Chip fare. I'd say interesting and fine, but I didn't come away listening to this album the first time particularly impressed and almost not even that pleased. I was just like, okay, I kind of expected better from Hot Chip almost. I did listen to it a second time, and I liked it better the second time I listened to it than the first time. I think because of I guess it took me a while to accept the sound more a little bit. And then I got to enjoy the latter half of the album a little bit more, especially with Clear Blue Skies and No God. I think No God's a really cool ending too, once we're not talking about albums that have good enders, especially with the previous one. So
No God's a very good track.
I definitely had really mixed opinions about it, but it's leaning positive because on my second listen, I did come away from it with an improved view of it, and looking at this kind of in a vacuum looking at this album in a vacuum of what it's trying to accomplish as a concept album, A Bath Full of Ecstasy being a exploration of love almost intensely, almost overwhelmingly, is kind of the point in that I see. So I'll give them credit to doing that and executing it all right, if not as well as I had wished. But Sean, what are your thoughts?
So if New Order decided to make music, again, like they never, well, I mean, they so if New Order never existed, but decided to pop up in 2019, this is what they would make. Deadass. It has there's only one gripe I have, and that's Spell, which is the second song, kind of drones on a little while. But the rest of the tracks, if you've heard the track Tutti Frutti from New Order, which was in their latest album in 2016, if I recall correctly, that's kind of the theme of it, where it's this 80 house funk theme throughout the entire album, and it is fucking incredible. I love it. It is my favorite genre, which is combining house with a different like electronic stuff and not making it pop. It doesn't sound poppy to me, which is why I don't know why you did it to Foster the People, because Foster the People use trap snare on almost every single track on their album, and that's why I'm deemed them the Demons of Hell, and they have their 18th circle of hell to stay in and need to go home and rethink their life about 30,000 times.
For me, it was because the instrumentation just kind of fell into the, like, all of the melodies were just pop melodies. Whereas Hot Chip in the past used to be a little more exploratory with the sounds they chose to put together and collect into a piece.
It's not pop melodies, they're all house. The bass, the electronics in it and everything, it's house.
Okay, but like the notes they selected are like the typical like pop melodies, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay, what type of pop? Because it's not like Troye Sivan, it's not like Ariana Grande, it's not stuff like that.
I mean, like, if you were to set it out like, oh, it goes in a major like key in this sort of way. Like it does those things that to me, oh, I noticed this in pop because this is what pop does. Maybe I'm definitely not explaining this well, and we can move on from it because I'm not going to really explain it much better. But
yeah.
The predictability of pop that I didn't used to get from Hot Chip albums, I felt a little bit more here.
Well, the predictability, that's a problem of house genre. That's more of a thing of, that's just something I like. I've liked the predictability of house in that way because it won't go too wild, but the thing is with them is the vocals that they put in it accompanies the instrumentation very well, so it's pleasing to the ear. The themes are okay. I'm not a big one on making an entire album of love, because I think it's overdone a little bit, but
Taylor Swift's got a new album coming out.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that bitch.
Speaking of which.
Fuck this bitch. This is Russia. But No God is a very, very good track. The entire theme of that whole song, it surprised me. I have to look up the lyrics and see what the real interpretation of it is, but you can interpret it two ways. Of no God as in somebody you love, or no God as in you're literally searching for a God, and you can hear it into the lyrics and the instrumentation of itself. I really much enjoyed this. I think it sounds like a modern day New Order, with that combining, I guess you could say, because New Order is poppy, but experimental poppy, blending dance music genres in it. And that's something that they did in this album, and I very much enjoyed it, top to bottom. Has a clear theme, every song connects together long. There's only one song, which is Spell, which is a very good track, but about 5 minutes into it, it had a minute longer. I'm like, okay, you can kind of speed it up. Bath Full of Ecstasy and Echo kind of pick up the theme a little bit more, pick it up, get some more dance beats to it, and then Hungry Child's great. Positive is a decent track. Why Does My Mind, Clear Blue Skies, and No God are fantastic as a ending, because it's, again, the nice house beat, the pop, I won't say pop, but the dance theme to end an album, make it happy, basically. So that's a nice thing. The month of June has been more happier for album releases, because then next we're going to get Tom York's Dystopia album of This Is the Earth, fuck everything, move to Mars. So I'm going to take everything as I can get now until I want to cry and slip my wrist, but it is Tom York, so I'll probably give him album of the year anyways. But fantastic album. Have a listen through it. I want to hear what y'all say about it, because we have very different opinions, but that's why we have a podcast. So I got to figure out
discuss our ideas.
Because never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
I'm gonna go with Morteza Saduki Mazandarani.
I was literally gonna go some long ass name too, but that works.
He studied in the seminaries of Qum, Iran, under Grand Ayatollah Muhammad Ali Araki, and that person was an Iranian revolutionary.
Ooh.
So
I'm just going to go Mir Ebradin Saeed Hatami, because his name is like a lot of scribbles and it's pretty chill. I don't know anything about him, but he is a member of the Assembly of Experts, and he's a member of 3rd and 4th Assembly of Experts in Iran, which I think ousted a president, I believe. And then all the rest I can't read because it's all in Arabic, so I'm saying cool, good dude, allegedly.